Hello guys, in this video you are going to learn how to calculate acceleration, deceleration which is negative acceleration, and also velocity. Let's begin. Question 1. A car accelerates from 0.15 meter per second to 0.2 meter per second in 10 seconds. Calculate its acceleration, then the velocity at 4 seconds later if it continues to accelerate at the same rate. Okay, let's look at the solution. So first thing that we need to do is to bring out the parameters that are given in the question. From the question, our initial velocity, that is the starting velocity, is 0.15 meter per second. And this initial velocity is represented by letter U. Don't forget, it is the starting velocity of the vehicle. And then we have our final velocity, which is represented by letter V. It is equal to 0.2. It is given in that question. And then we have our time, which is 10 seconds. Okay. So to calculate the acceleration, as question 1 has suggested, so we are going to use this equation. Acceleration is given as v minus u, final velocity minus initial velocity. Change in final velocity and that of initial velocity divided by the time taken for the journey. So here we have. Then the next thing to do is to substitute this value into this equation. So we've got our final velocity, which is 0.2, and the initial velocity is 0.15 divided by the time taken, which is 10. So when we compute that, we arrive at 0.05 divided by 10, and then our acceleration is now 0.005 meter per second square. Therefore, we can say that its acceleration at 10 seconds is 0.005 meter per second square. This is very simple. So please, when you calculate acceleration, don't forget to include the units. Add the units to your answer. Okay. All right. Let's now calculate the velocity as requested by the question. Velocity V, we are looking for it. So our acceleration now is 0.05 meter per second square, and the time is 4 seconds. Initial velocity is going to be 0.2 meter per second. Let's go back to that question again. Calculate the velocity at 4 seconds later if it continues to accelerate at the same rate. And we have gotten that acceleration, which is 0.005 meter per second square. And then our initial velocity that we use for this is this. But now our initial velocity is going to be this, now 0.2. Okay, let's go back. Sorry, right. 0.2 meter per second is our initial velocity. So for any linear motion, for you to calculate the velocity of a linear motion, we use this equation. V equal to u plus at. V is final velocity, initial velocity is u, your a is what? Acceleration, and t is time. So this is very simple. So just substitute the value into this simple equation. V equal to 0.2, yes, initial velocity, plus, then you can put these guys in bracket to differentiate so that there will be no mix up. So our acceleration is this, and then the new time given to us is 4. So we multiply it together. We've got 0.02. Then we add it to this one. So 0.2 plus 0.02 is 0.22 meter per second. So this is the unit for velocity. So you can see. So this is the velocity at 4 seconds. Let's consider the next example. Question 2 says that the driver of a vehicle traveling at 8 meters per second applies the brakes for 30 seconds and reduces the velocity of the vehicle to 2 meters per second. Calculate the deceleration of the vehicle during this time. So deceleration is negative acceleration. So the velocity was 8 meters per second, that is the initial velocity, and then suddenly it drops to 2 meters per second when the brake was applied, just for 30 seconds, and it drops. So there is a reduction in the speed, and that is going to result to negative acceleration, which we call deceleration. So again, bring out all the parameters given to you in the question for easier solution. So our initial velocity is 8 meters per second, final velocity is 2 meters per second, and then our time is 30 seconds. So our acceleration is given, the equation for acceleration is given as A equal to V minus U over time taken. So let's substitute the value again. Final velocity is 2 minus 8, which is initial velocity. So here we've over time, which is 30 seconds. And then when we do this, 2 minus 8 is minus 6 divided by 30. It's equal to minus 0.2 meter per second square. So this is the new acceleration. Sorry, it is the deceleration. So this is a negative acceleration, which we call deceleration. From the question, you can see that the man started his journey with an initial velocity of 8 meters per second, and then he applies the brake for 30 seconds for some reasons known to him, we don't know, and then the acceleration, sorry, the velocity reduces to 2 meters per second. So we have a deceleration, and our answer is going to be negative, signifying deceleration. So therefore, the deceleration of the vehicle is minus 0.2 meter per second square. Again, this is very important to put your unit. So I hope this video is going to help you. Now to calculate acceleration, deceleration, and velocity. Thank you for taking your time to watch. I remain your humble teacher. See you again. Goodbye.